Says it's 8:10. Good evening. This is Kilo 1, Charlie Hotel November. My name is Jeremy, Net Control for this evening's session of the Neighborhood Emergency Communication Training Net. This net meets every Sunday evening at 8:10 p.m. local time on this K7 RPT 147.040 MHz repeater. This repeater has a positive 600 kHz offset and a tone of 100 Hz. Our purpose is to provide experience with and exchange information about amateur radio use by NETs, also known as Neighborhood Emergency Teams, and CERTs, also known as Community Emergency Response Teams. And I don't think anybody heard that, but I'm gonna just sign off and go back to the correct frequency, K1CHN. Sorry about that. Good evening. This is Kilo 1, Charlie Hotel November. My name is Jeremy, Net Control for this session of the Neighborhood Emergency Communication Training Net. This net meets every Sunday evening at 8:10 p.m. local time on this K7 RPT 147.040 MHz repeater. This repeater has a positive 600 kHz offset and a tone of 100 Hz. Our purpose is to provide experience with and exchange information about amateur radio use by NETs, also known as Neighborhood Emergency Teams, and CERTs, Community Emergency Response Teams. We refer to ourselves as the NetNet, and our primary audience is those with little or no experience on the air. Those not associated with NETs or CERTs are also invited to participate. This is a directed net. Any station needing to do so, however, may secure without notifying Net Control. Every 20 minutes or so, we will give others on frequency a brief opportunity to conduct non-net business. Our format is the following. We begin with a directed check-in, which I will describe in a moment. This should take about 20 minutes. After the directed check-in, we will begin our discussion of this evening's topic, which is Amateur Radio Field Day. After we are about 40 minutes into the program, I will ask for all of the listeners to check in. After these check-ins are completed, I will give new participants an opportunity to introduce themselves. We will then have a period for QSTs or announcements. If interest continues, we will return to the discussion topic and periodically ask for more check-ins after that. Before we get started, does anyone need an early out of the net this evening?
Kilo Foxtrot 7, Juliet Lima Golf, requesting early out. Yes, that's Charlie, early out. Whiskey Oscar 7, November, Whiskey Sierra, early out.
The net recognizes Kilo Foxtrot 7, Juliet Lima Golf, Kilo India 7, Alpha Delta Charlie, and Whiskey Oscar 7, November Whiskey Sierra. I believe there was a double in there with KI780C. If you were calling in and weren't recognized, please come again with your call sign.
Kilo Golf 1, Bravo Oscar, Bravo Bob.
The net recognizes Kilo Golf 1, Bravo Oscar Bravo. Thank you for checking in, and you all can secure at your leisure. Thank you. Okay. We will now do a directed check-in. Emergency, health, and welfare or priority traffic may break the net at any time using the word break. Please do not use the word break unless you have such traffic. For the directed check-in, I will invite each ham who has checked in during the last 2 weeks to confirm their presence on the air by repeating only their call sign. I will recognize you using your first name. Kilo Golf 7, Alpha Lima India.
Kilo Golf 7, Alpha Lima India, this is Sue.
Good evening, Sue. Kilo Juliet 7, Alpha X-Ray Alpha. Kilo 6, Bravo Romeo Romeo.
Kilo 6, Bravo, Romeo, Romeo.
Good evening, Dana. Kilo Delta 8, Charlie Golf Mike.
Kilo Delta 8, Charlie Golf, Mike.
Good evening, Jacob. November 7, Charlie Lima Sierra.
November 7, Charlie Lima, Sierra.
Good evening, Christine. Kilo 7, Charlie November Sierra. Kilo Juliet 7, Delta Lima Tango. Kilo Juliet 7, Delta Mike Delta.
Kilo Juliet 7, Delta Mike Delta.
Good evening, John. Kilo Juliet 7, Delta Mike Papa.
Kilo Juliet 7, Delta Mike Papa.
Good evening, Tyler. And I think I might have heard another station in there. If you were trying to check in, can you please come again with your call sign? Okay, you're pretty scratchy and kind of cutting in and out. I got Kilo Juliet 7. Can you come with the rest of your call sign, please? Okay, I got you that time. Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot X-Ray Lima. Good evening, Marriott. Kilo Juliet 7, Delta Mike Victor. Kilo 7, Delta Zulu Yankee. Kilo India 7, Echo Foxtrot Tango. Whiskey 7, Echo Lima Charlie. Kilo India 7, Echo Mike Echo.
Kilo India 7, Echo Mike Echo.
Good evening, Ron. Alpha Echo 7, Echo Tango. Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot Quebec November. Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot Romeo Delta. Kilo 7, Foxtrot Sierra Whiskey. Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot Tango X-Ray.
Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot Tango X-Ray.
Good evening, Vincent. Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot X-Ray Delta.
TJ7SXB, good evening everybody.
Good evening, Eric. Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot X-Ray Juliet. Kilo India 7, Hotel Charlie Romeo. Alpha Alpha 7 Hotel Whiskey. November 7 India Mike Bravo.
November 7, India Mike Bravo.
Good evening, Ian. Kilo 7 India November Quebec. Kilo Foxtrot 7 Juliet Lima Golf. Kilo India 7 Kilo Kilo Mike. Good evening, Hollis. Kilo Uniform 0 Lima. Kilo 7 Lima Juliet Bravo.
Kilo 7, Lima, Juliet, Bravo.
Good evening, Linda. Alpha Golf 7 Mike Oscar. Kilo 7 Mike Oscar Juliet. Kilo 7 Mike Whiskey Golf. November 9 November Uniform Tango.
November 9, November Uniform Tango.
Good evening, Paul. Kilo Charlie 7 November Yankee Romeo.
Kilo Charlie 7, November Yankee Romeo.
Good evening, Mark, and thanks again for the filler material the other night. Kilo Golf 7 November Zulu Quebec.
Kilo Golf 7, November Zulu, Quebec.
Good evening, Mark. Alpha Alpha 7 Papa Bravo.
Alpha Alpha 7, Papa Bravo.
Good evening, Bruce. Kilo India 7 Papa Kilo Lima.
Kilo India 7, Papa Kilo Lima.
Good evening, Roy. Kilo Golf 7 Quebec Alpha Charlie.
Kilo Golf 7, Quebec Alpha Charlie.
Good evening, Brian. Kilo Golf 7 Quebec Alpha Delta.
Kilo Golf 7, Quebec, Alpha, Delta.
Good evening, Candy. Kilo Echo 7 Quebec Bravo Echo.
Kilo Echo 7, Quebec, Bravo, Echo.
Good evening, Mary Ellen. Kilo India 7 Quebec Hotel Whiskey. Kilo India 7 Quebec India Bravo. Kilo India 7 Quebec Lima Charlie. Kilo India 7 Romeo Mike Golf.
Kilo India 7, Romeo, Mike, Golf.
Good evening, Corey. Kilo India 7 Romeo Mike Kilo. Whiskey 1 Romeo Papa Mike. Kilo India 7 Romeo Uniform Quebec. Kilo India 7 Romeo Whiskey. Good evening, Roger. You're a little bit scratchy, but I was able to pick you out. Kilo Golf 7 Sierra Echo Uniform.
Kilo Golf 7, Sierra, Echo Uniform.
Good evening, Bill. Kilo Echo 7 Sierra India November. Good evening, Alex. And I'm looking at this check-in sheet and I'm just now realizing the alternating colors are alternating between letters of the alphabet, and that's very, very nice visually, just to get me back to where I was. So thank you for that. Kilo India 7 Tango Victor Echo.
Kilo India 7, Tango Victor Echo.
Good evening, Jeff. Alpha Golf 7 Tango Whiskey. Kilo 7 Victor Whiskey.
Kilo 7, Victor Whiskey.
Good evening, Fred. Kilo India 7 Whiskey X-Ray Kilo. Good evening, Dave. And it sounds like you're out walking around. There's a little bit of noise coming in as if the antenna is hitting your back or something. Kilo 7 Whiskey X-Ray Whiskey. Alpha Echo 7 X-Ray Papa. Kilo India 7 Yankee Bravo Kilo. Kilo Foxtrot 7 Yankee Uniform Oscar.
Kilo Foxtrot 7, Yankee Uniform Oscar.
Good evening, Lee. Kilo India 7 Zulu Zulu Quebec.
Kilo India 7, Zulu Quebec.
And good evening, Laura. That concludes the directed check-ins. Again, we will return in about 10 minutes to conduct a check-in of all other stations listening. Those stations will automatically be placed on the list of directed check-ins for the next 2 weeks. This is Kilo 1, Charlie Hotel November, net control for this evening's NetNet. Sorry, I just lost my place in the script. 1 second. Okay, there we go. We now break the net to permit any stations needing to use this repeater for non-net business to do so. Any station needing to break the net briefly for non-net traffic, please come now. Nobody ever, which is good. As always, any stations with emergency, health and welfare, or priority traffic may break the net at any time by using the pro word break. Please do not use the pro word break if you do not have such traffic. Our topic this evening is Amateur Radio Field Day. I will pause occasionally for net participants to ask questions or contribute to the conversation. If you want to speak, simply give your call sign and wait to be acknowledged. So for those of you who aren't aware, Amateur Radio Field Day is an annual event that happens on the last full weekend of, the fourth full weekend of June every year, where you pretty much go out and do ham stuff in the wild. That's kind of, as I understand it, there's some contesting aspect to it where you're trying to make as many contacts as possible, whether that's on HF or on a local repeater or just walking around the park. But it's kind of a way to get out into the community and have some fun and try to get everyone on the air at the same time to try to have as much fun as possible. It's also a great opportunity to recruit new hams. If you're at a park and you've got a table set up and some people walk over and are like, hey, what are you doing? You can show them what you're doing. It's also a great opportunity just to get some practice. There are going to be lots of people on the air, so lots of people to talk to, lots of people around to help you if you're having trouble, and yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. Unfortunately, this year I was not able to participate because I was working the Cycle Oregon Joyride yesterday, which I guess in some way is kind of participating because I was with a group of hams doing actual work with ham radio, but it wasn't like an official field day event. It was just for that event. So what I was hoping to do tonight is kind of live vicariously through all of your experiences and kind of hear what people had done, things you've learned, mistakes you made, where you went, just really anything, if anybody has anything to contribute. With that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. If you want to contribute something, please come now with your call sign. Crickets.
Alpha 7, Papa Bravo.
Alpha 7, Papa Bravo, go ahead.
I think there were multiple field day events in the Portland area. Portland area Amateur Radio Club had one. The one I participated in was the Multnomah County Aries at Willamette Park. There were 3 stations set up, 2 for regular activity and 1 to help non-hams get on the air. Each
Thank you for that. That sounds like a really good time. Were you just trying to make contacts, or were you trying to um, kind of apply the use of the radio to something that might parallel what you might do in a real world situation?
Uh, there was no simulated emergency work that I heard. Um, the stations had categories based on how they were set up. We were a club station, so we were the alpha category. There were two stations participating, primarily the getting on the air station didn't count in the, so we were two alpha. Um, and then we had a geographical location, which was Oregon, and we either said the word Oregon or we said Oscar Romeo. In Morse code, everything was abbreviated appropriately. So it was very abbreviated contacts, which are consistent with some of the other types of contests that I've listened in on, but have not participated. Net control on the 87 PD.
That sounds really cool, and it sounds like you were there. You said it late into the evening. Was it kind of an all night thing you had set up there, or did people go home at some point?
The club was there for something like 26 hours, and there were two or three club members that seemed to camp out. Um, but I arranged my schedule so I was there at the beginning to have set up, and then did a graveyard shift for 2 hours, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Went home and got almost 8 hours sleep. Came back at 9 a.m. to run the station for a while longer and then help break down. There was also a potluck on Saturday evening, which I missed due to family commitments. So a variety of ways to enjoy it, and imagine those that operated the Get on the Air station enjoyed showing ham radios to people that were curious about it, and that had to be a lot of fun as well. Net control 87 EB.
That does sound really cool, and I didn't realize it was going to be on until today. I had plenty of time yesterday after I got back that I could have gone out, so now I'm feeling a little sad, but something to look forward to for next year. Thank you for that. This is Kilo One Charlie Hotel November Net Control for the Neighborhood Emergency Communication Training Net. Do we have anybody else who would like to chime in on their experiences with Field Day? Please come now with your call sign.
Kilo Golf 7, Quebec Alpha Delta.
Go ahead, Candy.
I went early for the setup, so I was there at 8:30. And I thought the setup was really one of the most fun parts of the day for me. And I helped with the triangular antenna, which was on several trees initially, and then we moved to a different area, and I helped with the dipole setup. So we could see the Willamette
Thank you for that. That does sound like a lot of fun, especially the using a dog chucket to run an antenna up into a tree. That sounds like a lot of fun, and that's something that kind of reminds me of. I think it's Elecraft. They make a portable HF radio, and their whole thing is, yeah, don't bring fancy antenna. Just bring. We've got 2-post antenna connector, and run one wire, throw it up in the tree. The other one, just run it as far away from it as you can get, and it's got a built-in tuner and stuff. So it sounds like a lot of fun. Did you have to do anything after you got the antennas up in the air to kind of get them ready to go?
I did not do anything. We were there from 8:30 until maybe 11 something, and I think they were still, or maybe after 11, and they were still finishing off putting the antennas up, and we needed to go home and cook our food for the potluck, so we left and then came back for the 3 o'clock shift and then stayed for the potluck. So I didn't see the tail end of the antenna setup, but I'm sure the technical people were doing whatever was needed to get it all working correctly. Keel Golf 7, Quebec Alpha Delta.
Excellent. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to try to make it out there next year to do some of this stuff. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to contribute? Please come now with your call sign.
Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot, X-Ray Lima. This is Marion. It was my first field day because I'm a newbie. I had a great time. I spent a lot of time talking with others and learning a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for that, Marion. And it does sound like a great way to go out and kind of, because you don't necessarily need your own equipment. You can go even just look at other people's or talk to them about how they're doing it, and just kind of get some knowledge and kind of see what kind of things you can do with ham radio, because it is such a there's such a variety of different things you can do with it. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you for that contribution. Okay, I'm going to do one last call and then we'll go into check-ins. Does anybody else have anything, any experiences they'd like to share? Please come now with your call sign. Okay, hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and move into the check-ins. This is Kilo 1, Charlie Hotel November. My name is Jeremy, net control for this evening's NetNet. We will now do a regular check-in by call sign suffix. What this refers to is the first letter after the number in your call sign. All stations are encouraged to check into this net. You do not have to be a member of a net, a CERT, or any other emergency response organization to check into this net. Emergency traffic may break the net at any time by using the word break. Please do not use the word break unless you have an emergency. Are there any check-ins for call sign suffixes Alpha 3 Delta? Please come now with your call sign. Any check-ins echo through Kilo? Please come now.
Kilo India 7, Echo Foxtrot Tango, Ernie.
Hey, Ernie.
Kilo Juliet 7, Echo Papa Quebec, Gary.
Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot X-Ray Lima, Marion.
The net recognizes Kilo India 7, Echo Foxtrot Tango, Kilo Juliet 7, Echo Papa Quebec, and Kilo Juliet 7, Foxtrot X-Ray Lima. And I already had you checked in, Marion, so just in the future, FYI, if I've acknowledged you earlier on in the net, you don't need to check in again. But thanks for checking in. Are there any check-ins for call sign suffixes Lima through Papa?
Kilo 4, Mike Juliet Delta. Kilo Golf 7, Oscar X-Ray Papa Stafford. November 7, November Juliet Alpha, Ken.
The net recognizes Kilo 4, Mike Juliet Delta, Kilo Golf 7, Oscar X-Ray Papa, and November 7, November Juliet Alpha. Thank you for checking in. Are there any check-ins Quebec through Tango? Please come now with your call sign. Any check-ins, call sign suffixes uniform through whiskey? Please come now. How about X-ray through Zulu? Please come now. Okay, do we have any missed or late check-ins, call sign suffixes Alpha through Zulu, anywhere in the alphabet? Please come now with your call sign. Okay, that completes our check-ins. Do we have any operators new to this net this evening who would like to introduce themselves? Please come now with your call sign. Hearing none, we'll move into announcements. Do we have any contacts, announcements, or QSTs for the net this evening? Please come now with your call sign. Okay, hearing none, I actually have one myself. So the last time I was on, which I think was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that, a suggestion I got from KU00L was that I live stream the net on my website, and I've tried to do that. And sadly, YouTube won't let me because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. And I'm not sitting here asking you for subscribers because there's no way I'm getting to 1,000. But I have been recording nets that I've run, and this will be the second one. I don't have them yet posted on my website, but they will be at some point. So if you're interested in seeing what the other side of the radio looks like, at least with me doing net control, you'll be able to see that up on my website at kilo1charliehotelnovember.com. And I'm definitely open to critique or comments or anything like that. So if you have any, please let me know. And if you have any questions, also please let me know. I would love to help people out if they are interested in getting into doing net control themselves, or just want to know kind of what it is that I have in my setup. So yeah,
K7FM.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, that's a really great idea, and I'll look into your website and look forward to seeing your recordings when they get up there. Also, I just wanted to mention to everyone that if anyone has questions about the NetNet, being net control, or anything amateur radio related, they can also email me at k7fin@gmail.com, and I try to get back to people fairly quickly. K7fin.
Thank you for that, Alex. And also to add to that, if you're interested in net control specifically for the NetNet, Alex is the person to talk to because he is now our new net manager as of a few weeks ago. So congratulations to Alex and good luck. Do we have any other contacts, announcements, or QSTs this evening?
K7fin.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone that this Thursday will be the fourth Thursday of the month, so Multnomah County Aries will be meeting at 6:15 p.m. at Fire Station number 2. Address is figure 4800 Northeast 122nd Avenue, and it's just north of Sandy Boulevard. And all amateur radio operators and non-amateur radio operators are welcome to come and learn about Aries operations. K7FM.
And you said that's this coming Thursday evening, Alex?
That is correct. This coming Thursday, and it's also every fourth Thursday of the month, 6:15 p.m. at Fire Station 2. K7FM.
Thank you for that information. That sounds like something I would be very interested in, and I might check that out. So thank you for that. Any other announcements?
W0DSL.
Go ahead, Debbie, and I've got you checked in now.
I was going to remind everybody that on July 13th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., there will be a traffic handlers picnic at the home of KD7 LVP and his wife Jana. That's John Hedrick. And there will be directions. They live in Beaver Creek. There will be directions put out later because I've been told that they're going to send people an alternate route in. And the first road goes around to the back of the property, and just follow the signs up there and you'll be able to find it. It's on South Lower Island Road in Beaver Creek. We are asking that those who plan to attend email w0dsf@arrl.net. It will be potluck. Meat will be provided, and that is the reason that we need to know how many are planning to attend.
Thank you for that, Debbie. That sounds like a good time. And for those of you who might be wondering what traffic handling is, I would refer you to the net that KU0L and Debbie put on every evening on the Western Oregon Radio Club repeaters. There is a traffic handling net. Traffic is sending and receiving radiograms. So the National Traffic System, I did a net about it a couple of months ago. It's a lot to try to say right now, but if you're interested in it at all, it's 6:05 p.m. every night on the Western Oregon Radio Club repeaters, and it's good practice and good fun, and they're very welcoming to new people, so I highly recommend that. Okay, one last call now for announcements or late check-ins or anything else for the good of the order. Please come now with your call signs. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and wrap up. If you have tried to check in and not been recognized by Net Control, please contact me at Kilo 1 Charlie Hotel November at kilo1charliehotelnovember.com. I will repeat that email address in just a moment. This is Kilo 1 Charlie Hotel November, closing this evening's session of the Neighborhood Emergency Communication Training Net. Thanks to all stations who participated and to those who stood by to give us a clear operating frequency. The K7RPT repeater is owned and operated by the Amateur Radio Relay Group, and the NetNet greatly appreciates permission for its use. Again, if you have tried to check in and not been recognized by Net Control, please contact me, Kilo 1 Charlie Hotel November at kilo1charliehotelnovember.com. We'll go ahead and troubleshoot the issue and get you on the air. This net will meet again next Sunday at 8:10 p.m. local time. This repeater is now returned to general amateur use. 73 everyone, and thank you for participating in the net. This is Kilo 1 Charlie Hotel November, signing the net clear at 8:59 p.m. Portland local time.